We're about to do some more short nail manis. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer, and today we're going to talk all about how to do a chunky glitter on your short nails and talk about how I like to do reverse stamping. If you've never stamped before, I promise you it is easier than it looks once you get down the basics of swiping the card down on your stamping plate and picking the initial image up. Reverse stamping is so much easier to me because you can take your time. But first, let's jump in with the manicure I did. I did this gorgeous pink color. It's called Trust Your True Self, and it's this really bright, super shimmery pink, which if you know me, you know I absolutely love pink. Even though you guys see me wear a lot of different colors on here, pink will always be my favorite to wear. It is my jam. I could wear it every time. That and chrome, but I just don't because I have too many other colors that I love. But like pink has my heart. And the other one is You Can Do Anything. These are both from a Barbie collection from OG Dip Powder. I am obsessed with these colors. I did 2 layers of the pink shimmer. Initially, I knew that's where I wanted to do my stamping, like just a little bit of stamping right over the pink to really make it feel like 90s, because I am feeling total 90s Barbie vibes with this pink and the glitter. You can see the glitter once I do the glitter, it has a bunch of different colors in it. It has pink, blue, yellow, and green in it, and it is like screaming 90s. I made sure that I found this really cute stamp that had these little flowers on it. Maniology sent me a new plate and some colors to try, some stamping polishes to try. As soon as I saw these stamping polishes, I knew they were going to match exactly to this glitter. I was like flipping out when I was doing the stamping because they matched so well. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I like to start with the shimmer or the solid, and I like to dip those all the way through and then encapsulate them in clear dip powder and activate them. The reason I do this is because I tend to be messy. If I don't encapsulate and clear and activate, I tend to get glitters on my solids and my shimmers. And I've started doing this, finishing the solids or shimmers first and encapsulating, clear, and activating. And since then, I really have been so much better about getting any glitters in my clear or in my shimmers. For some reason, clear dip powder tends to stick in my cuticles a little bit more than colors do. Like it kind of bunches up down there. So I make sure I trace around my cuticles really well with a pointy nail tool or like that little stabby stick that I just used. And then I brush off any excess clear so that it's not super thick and activate really well before I go in and move to my glitter nails. Now we're getting into this gorgeous glitter called You Can Do Anything, and I am so obsessed with it. I'm gonna say that there's like this whole mani, I just was freaking out because I just love these colors so much. They just felt so me. I think it was like the nostalgia of like the Barbie colors taking me back to the 90s, to my childhood. I am 37, so the 90s were my jam. To me, the 90s do not feel like they were that long ago, but you know, if you like ask my kids, they act like the 90s were, you know, 100 the 90s were 100 years ago. Like, oh my gosh, mom, you were born in the 1900s. Yeah, I was. It wasn't that long ago, okay? So whenever you're dipping with a chunky glitter, you want to make sure you pour it into some kind of either dip cup like I'm using or a cupcake liner so you can shake it up and lay your nail flat. Since my nails are really short, I've been really trying to only do 1 layer of the glitter dip powder and then just filling in where it needs to be if I like missed any spots with either the glitters or the flakes or the foils. And this is, to me, really helpful when your nails are super short. I know I've heard people say like, oh, I can't dip chunky glitters because my nails are too short. You know, they end up looking too thick. Well, this is how I get around that when my nails are short. I only do 1 layer of the glitter. I shake the glitters up in the little cupcake liner or dip cup like I'm using and lay my nail flat to pick up as many pieces as I possibly can on the first dip. I tap it off, I go around my cuticles, and then I go in and I start placing. And I know this can take a little bit longer, and you know, everybody doesn't like placing glitters. I didn't like to when I first started dipping. I felt like, you know, this seems goofy. Why would I want to place glitters? But now that I've been dipping for a while, I really realized that I actually love placing the glitters because it gives me the exact look that I want without having to do multiple layers. And I use this little flexible cup. All this is from SJ3 Designs. I absolutely love all their nail tools or nail accessories. You know, what my brain's not working, okay? I call my brain Brian because whenever I type brain, I swear on my phone, it autocorrects to Brian. So Brian's not working. Brian like never works for me, all right? Brian is like on a permanent vacation from my head. Anyway, sorry, I'm like really goofy today as I'm filming this voiceover. So I feel like you're getting the goofball Nicole instead of the more serious Nicole today. I do the same thing with each of my nails that I just wanted to do the glitter on. I dumped some excess glitter on this flexible disc thing right here, and then I could just go through, I dabbed some extra base all over the nail in the spots where glitter was missing, and I got to go through and just place extra pieces. So the nail really looks exactly how you want it to, and you can see with this dip, I got a good amount of glitters picked up, but since I'm only doing one dip, I really wanted to go in and fill in any open areas that needed some of like the littler glitters, or we're missing certain colors. Like I didn't want it to be like all yellow in one area or all blue or all pink. I wanted the glitters to be like really spread out over my nail. So that's the nice thing about hand placing them, is you can really move some pieces around to where you want them, and it really only takes me like an extra 5 minutes. And I feel like to have the manicure look the way I want, like that's totally worth it. Then I go through and I do my layer of clear dip powder over. I pour the powder over a couple times so it's really encapsulated, and I activate it, and then I can move on to my stamping. You want to make sure before you start stamping or any kind of nail art over your nails that you've already activated, waited till they've hardened, buffed and filed them really nicely, so that then you can wipe them off with alcohol and do any of the nail art, stamping, whatever you want to do, you can do that over. And these are the 3 colors that I'm using for the stamping that match exactly with this glitter that I have. And I was like obsessed, so obsessed. I mean, look at this bright pink. Are you kidding me? And the blue and the yellow. These 3 stamping pouches are from the 3-piece neon stamping set for Summer's Out called Slam Book, Pencils Down, and Blue Glue. I mean, even the nails feel so 90s, or even the names feel so 90s to me. Now, I'm going to be honest, I somehow did not press record on my phone when I actually swiped the stamp on. So I picked up one of these little flowers, and now we're going to talk about how I do reverse stamping. And if you're still struggling to pick up images, I will make sure at the end of this video that I link one of my videos that goes over all about how to pick up an image. So reverse stamping, I absolutely love, because if you struggle with regular stamping, it's actually a lot easier because you're not in a rush to have the colors like dry in a certain amount of time. You can take your time with reverse stamping. It's basically coloring in the dots. Once you're able to get that image initially picked up, then all you have to do is take little toothpicks or something like that. Some people like to use dotting tools. I personally, because my hands are kind of shaky, I like to use toothpicks because then I don't make as much of a mess and accidentally go over like the main stamped images lines. I prefer to stamp with gels. I know a lot of people like to use the sticky base. I sometimes get the timing off, and it's just easier for me to use all gels. I like to use the sticky base once in a while just for like a change of pace, but for the most part, you're going to see me use gels when I do stamping. So when I use gels to do stamping, I just do 1 layer of gel base, fully cure it for 30 or 60 seconds, depending on what brand I'm using. And then once my reverse stamp that I did on the jelly stamper has fully dried, then I just go and press it right onto that slightly tacky, the tacky dispersion layer that's on the gel base. And that is literally it. I mean, you saw how quick it was. That is why I love reverse stamping so much, because I feel like it's much harder to mess up, and the timing is so much easier because you just let your stamp sit there and dry before you have to go and you're trying to mess with it. And since it's already dry, once you put it on your nail, it's going to be ready to put a top coat over it. So when you're doing gels to reverse stamp or any kind of stamping, you want to make sure that you encapsulate that stamp in another layer of gel base and fully cure it before you go in with gel top. It protects the stamp a lot better, and it makes sure that the gel base has something to stick, that the gel top has something to stick on so that it doesn't peel up. Like, you don't want to do all that work for your beautiful stamps, your beautiful nails, and then have your top coat peel off. So you always want to make sure that you use gel base under your gel top coat. Whenever you're using gels to top coat over your dip mani, you want to make sure that you cap your edges for both the gel base and the gel top if you like to wear your nails for a long time. Me personally, sometimes I leave mine on for 2 days, sometimes I leave them on for a week. So I always make sure that I cap my edges just to be extra careful that I don't have any peeling. Capping your edges is going to keep your nails from peeling a lot better than if you don't cap them. That's what I found. If you're somebody who is using peel base and you're changing your nails every couple days, it's not going to be as important to you. If you're still struggling with picking up your basic image on your stamping, then check out this next video and I will help you get your stamping down. Thanks so much for joining me today, Nail Crew.